Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Today, we have 4 stories for you. In the first one, we'll tell you how our main character fought with the scammers. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Send money to claim an inheritance? You got it. Okay, so all of you have probably experienced the classic scam, where you'll usually be asked to send money, usually described as a fee, to be able to claim an even bigger sum of money. One day, I decided to have some revenge when I received one of these calls. The scammer was giving his spiel about how a long-lost relative of mine had died, and I was the one to inherit the millions that was left solely to me. Playing along, I acted very excited and asked what needed to be done on my end. He said his legal firm needed a payment of £5,000 in order for the relevant paperwork to be processed. This is where I had a bright idea. I said to him that I did not have £5,000 cash on hand, but I do, however, have a load of new electronics come in for my business that I could send to be sold. He jumped at the opportunity. So I went into my shed and started wrapping up a broken washing machine I had. I also had filled the drum with multiple yellow pages to give it more weight. When I organized a special courier to come pick up the massive parcel, I said that the delivery fee would be paid in full at the other end, with the delivery fee totaling over £500. I paid a small deposit and off the package went. A few weeks later, I got confirmation that the parcel had been picked up and the full invoice paid on collection. I wish I could have seen the scammer's face when he opened it. And our second story. You have places to be? No problem. I'll cancel your order. So I was working at this Thai/Vietnamese fast food place. Now, when I say fast food, I just say this because we were fast getting you your food. Everything was fresh and cooked right before your eyes at amazing prices. When I say fresh, I really mean it. I've never seen any veggies getting a little brown or wilted. It was always freshly cut every 2 hours. We also did our noodles ourselves. As for the price range, for example, a portion of roasted duck, about 300 grams of roasted duck meat alone, with fresh veggies, was about €6. A portion of bami goreng was like €5. So you can imagine around lunchtime, the place was packed. We still got your order in about 30 minutes. We had 3 woks, so we could only make 3 meals at once, except when someone ordered 2 of the same. So in comes Angry Lady, AL from now on, with an "I want to speak to your manager" haircut, you know the one I mean, and a sourpuss face. She orders 3 dishes, X, Y, and Z. God, I'm creative today. I told her it'll be roughly 30 minutes since we're packed. That made her mad already, complaining right away, "I got places to be. You better get my food in 30 minutes. About 20 minutes later, she comes to the counter and starts shouting, "The guy who took my order said my food would be ready in 30 minutes, and I'm waiting for almost an hour already." Because, of course, she would not recognize the little peon getting her order again. Who has time to look at lowly food slaves when you got places to be and need your food? So I put on my nicest retail grin and said, "Lady, you ordered 20 minutes ago. I know that because I was the one who took your order." AL, "How dare you argue with me? The customer's always right. I want to speak to a manager." Because, of course, she wants to speak to the manager. But what she doesn't know is that I am the manager. So I leave through the back door, come back to her, this time without my white kitchen apron, and say, "You wanted to speak to the manager?" Again, with my best retail smile. AL, "Yes, I ordered my food nearly an hour ago, and when I friendly asked how much longer it would be, your employee was rude to me and tried to argue that I would not be waiting that long." B, are you serious? You're not recognizing me again, and then lie to my face about what happened? So I decided to give her enough rope to hang herself before I told her it was me both times. "Oh, I'm sorry, how can we make this up to you? I must say, we pride ourselves in good customer service, so I can't really imagine how this happened." At that moment, the lady at the bar next to her, customers often waited sitting at the bar since from there you could observe the food preparation, and our cooks like to make it a bit of a show, must have realized what was going on and started giggling. AL, "Well, I don't have time to wait that long. I want the meals comped, I want you to fire that employee, and I want my meals delivered since I have places to be." At that moment, I had enough. "Lady, you placed your order with me, and it was about 20 minutes ago, not almost an hour. Plus, you shouted at me and were rude while I was really patient and tried to help you. Then you demanded a manager. Do you not recognize me? Lie to me about what happened and make ridiculous demands to be compensated for something that never happened. I knew the owner very well. It was not some chain restaurant, but a family-owned place with their own food and everything. And I knew he would have my back for this, so I knew I could do this. Of course, this made AL extra angry. I want my money back, and I will never eat here again. Then suddenly, the giggling lady next in line chimes in. Let's call her Giggling Lady, or GL for short. Hey, lady, you ordered your food right before me, so I know for a fact you were waiting maybe 25 minutes, if that. The place is packed. They told you it'd be 30 minutes, so stop complaining. We're all hungry and want our food. We all got places to be, and none of us is rude. None of us lies and tried to make a scene over nothing. We all wait patiently. So what makes you think that you can come back and be an insufferable bee again? Yeah, how often did I want to say that to customers? While she reamed AL a new one, the most perfect timing happened. The food of AL arrived. So I gave back AL her money and turned to GL. Me. So you ordered X, right? Well, since AL doesn't want her food after all, I'll give you Y and Z on the house. AL first made really good fish impression. Then she turned the biggest cat butt face you could imagine. I worried it might start to suck all of us into it. That's how bad it was, and simply stormed out. After she was out, I grinned at GL and said, "You have no idea how often I'd wanted to tell this to a customer like her. I'm going to comp you your meal on top of the free food. You really deserve it." From then on, we had a new regular, and AL actually held her promise to never return. Worth it. 10 for 10 would do it again. And our third story. Fire her so that I can have my old job back. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of working with Kim. Kim had an administrative job at our shared place of business, and we worked together for about a year. She wasn't a great employee, mainly due to attitude and a constant stream of missed time for assorted reasons, most of which seemed to be bullcrap. Kim eventually found her dream job, which we discovered after she failed to call or show up for 3 days straight. We parted amicably enough, even allowing her to resign to avoid ending things on a negative note, and that was the end of that. In Kim's absence, Lee had been promoted and quickly proved to be excellent at the job. Consequently, we weren't really all that excited when Kim reappeared about a week after her departure, sobbing and begging for her job back. The dream job hadn't been very dreamy after all, and she was running low on funds. Moved by her pleas on behalf of her children, the manager agreed to bring her back on a trial basis to fill the vacancy left when Lee was promoted. It was a step down from her previous position, but it was immediately available. A short, very blunt conversation ensued where she demanded to know why she couldn't just have her old job back. We explained again that the position had been filled and that the entry-level spot we were offering was the only thing available. We pointed out that she'd been a no-call, no-show, and that she'd burned a lot of bridges with the company by the poor way she'd handled her departure. The offer of any position with the company again was a kindness pure and simple. She then said, "Well, the only reason I came back was because I figured you'd miss me and you'd want me back. I don't really think I need to take a step down, do you?" This resulted in a long silence. I was on the verge of telling her to just forget about it when she got up to leave. She seemed to sense she was pushing her luck and said, "I really appreciate the opportunity. Maybe some doors will open for me and I'll be able to move back up soon." Whatever, I half expected her to blow it off and just never come back. Well, she came back in the following day and accomplished almost nothing. Instead, she divided her time between hovering over Lee and hiding in the break room with her cell phone. After being asked repeatedly to return to her work, she abruptly left without a word. The next day, she didn't come in at all, and we left a voicemail at the end of the day informing her that her employment had been terminated and that her final check would be mailed. The following day, she arrived bright and early and demanded a meeting with the manager. Upon being told she would not get a meeting and that she was not welcome on the premises, she threw a massive tantrum in full view of the office. She said that it was unfair that we'd taken her job away and given it to Lee, and that she had kids to feed and that we needed to be nicer. We explained that she wasn't entitled to the job and that she had squandered all of her bargaining power by walking out twice. Furthermore, the job was taken. It was now Lee's. She then dropped her purse along with the immortal line, "So just fire her so that I can have it back." It was one of those moments that just sticks with you. We were all kind of shocked at the audacity and single-minded selfishness. Lee was really uncomfortable, as you can imagine, and quickly left the room without saying much of anything. I picked up Kim's purse, handed it to her, and walked out. She sat outside for a long time, then left. She called back 6 months later and asked if we were ready to give her a fair chance. We declined. And our last story, chemical warfare. I used to keep a bottle of sriracha in the fridge at my last job. I even went as far as to write on the bottle that anyone could use it, just please return it. About a week in, my bottle of sriracha goes missing. The next bottle I put in the fridge, I wrote, "Do not touch," as someone had already abused the privilege of having a public domain hot sauce. A week or two later, this bottle too goes missing. At this point, I'm heated from my lack of delicious sriracha, so I go out and buy 2 bottles instead of 1. The first I put in my cubby so only I could use it. The second I dumped the top inch of sriracha out of and replaced it with 4 million Scoville hot sauce. I don't know who stole the third bottle, but I know that they were probably crapping blood, as just the residue left on my hands after washing them 3 to 4 times was enough to make me gasp for air when I accidentally touched my finger to my mouth. Poor B-turd. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.